Well, nation, I lied to you. I apologize for lying to you. I said that I would never again waste 88 minutes of my life on Lulu. And then I got the bright idea to do a Metallica discography and realized, fuck! I have to spend 88 minutes of my life listening, once again, to Lulu. Metallica and Lou Reed. Lulu's the name of the album. It's based off of a couple of plays. Lou Reed is providing a lot of poetic vocals, some spoken word gibberish. Meanwhile, James Hetfield and the boys are playing art rock behind him. That's right, Metallica playing art rock. This is kind of a weird concept. It's like thrash art rock sort of type of thing. You know, they're trying to, fit a little bit of a discordant background. It's almost as though... Have you ever listened to people read poetry? On CD or like on record where they have like music in the background, and most of the time it's very soft, it's very calming music that sort of makes sense, but every so often you reach that one track where the poet's like, this is one that really invokes a lot of discord and really talks about a lot of sadness, and you hear this like murky, like ridiculous thing in the background that makes no sense whenever their voice is like, oh darkness my grace, whatever will I do without your presence in my life. Makes no goddamn sense. That's a great metaphor for this album. That's a great metaphor for, wait, not this album, this double album. By now you already know that, but I feel the need to reiterate that to you because this is something that didn't need just one record, it needed 2 fucking records, 88 minutes. Couldn't they have cut 8 minutes and just put it on one? That way my suffering would have been just a little bit smaller? No! It's almost like the band hates me, and Lou Reed, who I respect the hell out of, is like, oh, he respects me? The fuck is he? Who is he? I don't care! So, let's talk about this piece of shit. Again. Something I never thought I'd be doing. Again. But here I am doing it. Again. We all know, and all knew, that Lulu was probably going to suck because of The View. The very first track that we heard was The View. Covered it on this channel. We made some, we had some laughs, we made some fun. I called Kirk Hammond a masturbating houseplant. Maybe it wasn't that video. I did that at some point in time. I called Lars Ulrich a tennis racket. And James said that he's a table. Yeah, I am the table. These are memes that still can be found to this day. This is something that will never die. You will never outrun this, James Hetfield. The internet is that much faster because the internet is that much lamer. Terrible line. However, I understand there's a lot of metaphor, there's a lot of this, a lot of that. There's going to be art people that are going to come onto this video and be like, listen, Cover Killer Nation, you have no idea what Metallica and Lou Reed were going for. This album is absolutely lyrically beautiful. Lou Reed is a genius, and you're a fuck for saying any negative words towards him. And Metallica, even though they just make a lot of noise, they are pretty good too. But, I would accept it because it's Lou Reed, and I just turned French. And we cut off my legs and my tits. I don't want to repeat that. I will cut off my legs and my tits. Why not cut off my eyes, my ears? Why not cut off my nose? Why not cut off my dick? Here's something that you may never think of. You may never think that, I would never ever be in a situation where I would say yes to castration. Well, imagine this. You're in a room, there's a locked door, and Lulu is playing on repeat. And they say this: the only way in which this ends, the only way in which Lulu stops, is if you castrate yourself. Gallup polls have shown that 9 out of 10 men would castrate themselves. And if it was a woman, they would draw on a penis and then castrate it. This is a terrible album. I know that I'm not talking a lot about the music on this, because there's not much really to say. There isn't much that you can really dive into with this. It's just the fact that Metallica is doing their best, really, to just create some discordant music. They're really trying to set the scene and paint the scene for Lou Reed, for Lou Reed's vocals, for his lyrical output, his lyrical poetry, with James Hetfield kind of helping out here and there, of course, the I am the table, blah, blah, blah. The problem here is that everything just sounds really jilty. It sounds out of place. There are some moments on this album where Lou Reed just seems to overshadow the music so much that it's barely audible, and that's the part that you want to hear. And then other times the music is so audible that you can barely hear Lou Reed, and that's the part you want to hear. It's like this is an album that was made completely backwards. Instead of the good things, the good aspects, the aspects that really might make this album shine a little bit and have a little bit of goddamn value, were deliberately put in the background as opposed to the foreground. That way you have to, listen really hard in order to hear them, while at the same time deafening yourself to the shit you don't want to hear. That's not fucking fair. Why should that be fair? It isn't. This album is legendary. This album actually has the power, and has had the power now for the past couple of years, of making Saint Anger look like a bona fide goddamn piece of art. It's made Saint Anger actually rise in value in my own eyes based around this release. Now, those who are purists will say that, hey, Cover Killer Nation, calm down a little bit. This is a Metallica and Lulu Reed collaboration. You can't expect to actually put that on par with the remainder of the Metallica discography. You can't do that. It isn't fair. It isn't just Metallica. It's Metallica and Lou Reed. Listen, collaboration albums sometimes are some of the better albums, or the best albums, in a group's catalog. You just have to take a look. And if they're involved in something, then yeah, I can do that. I covered S&M. That's with a symphony orchestra. Should I not do that because it's a live album and it's with a symphony orchestra? I don't think so. Lulu is pathetic. Lulu makes the sounds of country stars masturbating themselves off, whacking each other off, having a big, nice, huge-ass circle jerk with Cindy Lou tits in the middle, mouth wide open, ready to receive seed. Sounds like a genius record. It's something that makes, I don't know, Spring Breakers, the film, seem like a terrific idea. It makes Spring Breakers sound good. It makes the Twilight novels... No. Lulu's better than the Twilight novels. Lulu's better than 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. Those are the comparisons we're making, folks. That's what's going on here. Whenever you have an album that bad, that you have to dig into the pop culture graveyard and resurrect things that have been done now for a couple of years, then you know you got a real stinker. This album is so infamous that this is the first in the last 5 that did not chart at number 1 for Metallica. Metallica had 5 straight number 1 albums prior to the release of Lulu. In fact, this one performed so badly it didn't even get into the top 20, not even the top 30. I think it was number 33 whenever it first debuted. It just tanked. It just tanked. This whole project tanked. This is one that really was just kind of more so for them, Metallica and Lou Reed, that is, as opposed to actually for the people. But damn, this tanked. If people thought that this was, if they thought that this was going to be something people were going to be interested in hearing because of, it being Lou Reed and Metallica, 2 real legends of the business coming together and, having a meeting of the minds and writing a concept release, it just didn't work. There is very, very little of value on this album. And once again, I will deliver the most poignant metaphor as to why this is true. Remember whenever we made fun of The View? Remember how we laughed and yucked it up about The View? It's one of the best goddamn songs on the album! Junior Dad is considered to be a huge success. It's nearly 20 minutes long. It's a sprawling piece. It's the end point of the record. I think I finally understand why everybody delivers such high accolade to this song. It's absolutely nothing to do with the musical construction. It has zero to do with the lyricism. It has absolutely nothing to do with the production itself. Who directed it? Who was the principal invocator of all of this? It's the fact that it's the last song on the goddamn record, and everyone's like, holy crap, this was genius because it's now finally over. That's why. Now, if we were to be fair and say, hey, as an art rock album, is this any good? Not even as an art rock album, is this any good? I listened to some art rock. I've listened to some art metal. I've listened to avant-garde. I've listened to this. I've listened to that. I've listened to opera, jazz, everything. I've listened to so much goddamn music throughout my life. And I still I still, to this day, even though I'm expanding my horizons exponentially by the year, it feels like where there's just so goddamn much out there that I want and I want to listen to, and I just don't have enough goddamn hours in the day. Someone please make days 48 hours long, just for me. I still can't find in any language, in any goddamn race, creed, religion, ethnicity, any reason why Lulu should be considered a great album. Maybe that's just me, maybe it's a personal bias, maybe it's just CKN being an ASS, but I don't care. It's how I feel. It's why opinions are there. If you have a contradicting opinion, if you have an opinion that is different than mine, that's why I always highly suggest using the comments to your disposal, because I'd like to hear from you. Lulu, piece of shit or underappreciated? Note, if you say underappreciated, prepare to defend yourself. Not from me. No, not from me. The sad part is that we've reached the end now, folks. We've reached the end of the Metallica discography for right now. They're working on a new album. There's a good chance that it will not be out until 2015. Which means that the Lulu will be the last thing we will have heard from the band, aside from live albums and their collaboration with the Big Four, for a while now. So, I really hope that this discography has given you the opportunity to go back and revisit the classic albums, the ones that really have shined forward and become, you know, just true benchmarks and trademarks of the heavy metal genre. And I hope that it also has inspired you to revisit some of the other albums, some of the lesser knowns. Now, I also did a top 10 Metallica songs video, which I will try to remember to link somewhere. If not, you can definitely look through my my uploads and find it relatively quick. Just type in keyword Metallica or top 10 Metallica songs and you'll find it. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that you've enjoyed this. I really hope that this has been a great, you know, revisitation of a legendary band. I'll talk to you guys later.